Malcolm X, Joey Ramone, and a royal wedding are all on this day. Hey, welcome back to On This Day. Today's date is May 19th. It is the 140th day of the year. There's 226 days left in 2020. It's the 61st day of spring, and there's only 33 days left until summer. Buy some sunscreen. There are no holidays today in the US or Canada. Sort of. It is Malcolm X Day. Malcolm X Day is a holiday that's been an official holiday in the city of Berkeley, California since 1979. No place else. But there have been multiple proposals for the holiday to be official elsewhere. Most recently, in 2015, a proposal in Chicago was put forth to make it an official holiday in the state of Illinois. It didn't pass. All right, let's see what else May 19th has given us. 1655, the invasion of Jamaica begins during the Anglo-Spanish War. This was an expedition conducted by the English into the Caribbean that resulted in the capture of the island of Jamaica from Spain. Two Spanish settlers saw a huge fleet rounding Point Morant and warned the Spanish governor. The islanders and the governor had no idea the English had decided they wanted to rumble that day. Soon after the English landed, the Spanish fort and the governor waved the white flag and turned the island over to the English. Not all the Spaniards were on board with this, so they went into the mountains and conducted guerrilla warfare for a while. But yeah, eventually the English had the whole island. 1780, New England's Dark Day. An unusual darkening of the day's sky was observed over the New England states and parts of Canada. The primary cause of the event is believed to have been a combination of smoke from forest fires, thick fog, and cloud cover. The darkness was so complete the candles were required right around noon. The darkness didn't go away till like the middle of the next day, so it was kind of freaky to a lot of them, especially when they weren't too big on their science back then, so I'm sure it freaked quite a few of them out. 1845, Captain Sir John Franklin and his ill-fated Arctic expedition depart from England. This was an expedition that was to explore the Arctic. It didn't go well at all. After a few early fatalities, they pressed on. The two ships and their crew of 129 men became icebound in Victoria Strait near King William's Island in the Canadian Arctic. After being icebound for more than a year, wouldn't you take steps to get out of there if you've been there a couple months? I don't think I could sit in the Arctic for a year. Anyway, the two ships were abandoned in April 1848. At this point, Franklin and nearly 24 other men had died. The survivors, now led by Franklin's deputy and the captain from the other ship, James Fitzjames, set out for the Canadian mainland, and they were never seen again. A search in 1859 discovered a note left on King William's Island with details about the expedition's fate. Searches continued through much of the 19th century. In 2014, a Canadian search team led by Parks Canada, which is basically the national park system for Canada, located the wreck of one of the ships in the water west of O'Reilly Island. 2 years later, the Arctic Research Foundation found the second ship south of King William's Island. The wrecks are now protected as National Historic Sites. Love stories like that. I mean, it's horrible that's what happened to these men, but those things always interest me. One of the neatest things I ever saw on the History Channel, or maybe it was Discovery Channel years ago, was they did like 5 nights of shipwrecks and how horrible it was, and they were really interesting. 1911, Parks Canada. The world's first National Park Service is established as the Dominion Parks branch under the Department of the Interior in Canada. We just talked about them. The service had many names over the years before returning to Parks Canada in 1998. 1921, the United States Congress passes the Emergency Quota Act, establishing national quotas on immigration. This was done mainly in response to the large influx of Southern and Eastern Europeans coming into the United States. In the wording on this, it listed the different countries, and then they also had the verbiage in there, and other undesirables. If you ask anyone from my Irish family, that was specifically for the Irish. I don't know. Probably why my family didn't get here from Ireland till like the late 30s and early 40s. What's funny is half of us were from Norway too originally. Weird. 1961, the Soviet Venera program. Venera 1 becomes the first man-made object to fly by another planet, passing Venus. The probe lost contact with Earth a month earlier, didn't send back any information, but they know it passed, so that's kind of cool. Venera means Venus in Russian. It's actually pronounced Venera. 1986, the Firearm Owners Protection Act is signed into law by President Ronald Reagan. This was a law that revised provisions in the Gun Control Act of 1968. The act also contained provisions that banned the sale of machine guns manufactured after a certain date to civilians. It also restricted the sale of these weapons to law enforcement. Now, evidence suggests that none of these weapons have ever been used to commit a violent crime, like serious machine guns. Assault weapons are different, but yeah, they still, I guess they were trying to get ahead of the curve. I don't know, but yeah, they did that. 2018, the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle is held at St. George's Chapel with an estimated global audience of 1.9 billion. I guess some people get into this. I just don't see the fascination. I'm old enough to remember when Princess Di and Prince Charles got married, and that was the big to-do. I just don't get the fascination. Maybe I'm out of the loop. Who knows? May 19th, movie premieres. 2004, Dawn of the Dead. This was a remake of George A. Romero's film of the same name, which centered around a group of survivors that hide out in a secluded shopping mall as the zombies attack. Great movie. Kind of got me into the whole zombie apocalypse thing. I'm not one of those people that think it's going to happen someday. I just like the movies. 2010, The Runaways. This was a great movie. It was also a true story about Joan Jett, Sherry Curry, and a couple other girls like Lita Ford and some others that formed the band The Runaways in Southern California. Film follows their rise to fame as the Runaways and how hard it was not to kill each other in the process. Born on May 19th, 1925, Malcolm X, American minister and activist. He was a popular figure during the Civil Rights Movement. Denzel Washington played him in the movie. It was a great movie. I really enjoyed it. 1951, Joey Ramone is born. American singer-songwriter. He was lead vocalist for the punk rock band The Ramones. His image, voice, and tenure as frontman of The Ramones made him a counterculture icon, they say. Very interesting dude. And band, for that matter. Died on May 19th, 1994, Jacqueline Kennedy Onassis. Says she's an American journalist. She was Mrs. John F. Kennedy to me. But anyway, she was a journalist and the 37th First Lady of the United States. She died at age 64 due to non-Hodgkin's lymphoma. It's a type of cancer, in case you don't know. Alright, so that is our video today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. If you like what we're doing here, please subscribe. Give the video a big thumbs up. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.